Every one of my platinum trophies has a story to tell, but there are some I'm embarrassed to admit I have. I mean, just take a look at these average review scores. Sure, there are some okay ones here, but there's truly terrible ones as well. To understand why I would even play games this bad in the first place, you have to go back to 2009 when I heard for the very first time. I was playing Prince of Persia, and literally all you have to do is watch the first cutscene to get this trophy. That year was when PlayStation took trophies from being an optional thing to making them required for all games. And it was also the year that my obsession with the shiny digital badges of honor began. But surely I didn't stoop so low to immediately start playing these types of games, right? No, that wouldn't happen until the summer of 2011. You see, a couple of friends and I really enjoyed IGN's podcast Beyond, and the two main hosts at the time, Greg Miller and Colin Moriarty, were obsessed with PlayStation trophies. They even inspired IGN to host their own trophy war, and it all played a role in us having our own little friendly competition. With a family vacation coming up and my friends hot on my trophy hunting trail, I had to try and increase my lead. I already knew some of the easiest to obtain platinums as it was a regular topic of discussion on Beyond. So for my first time playing a game purely for the sake of getting that platinum trophy, I didn't want to play something truly terrible. I was looking for a nice balance of at least an okay game, but also an easy platinum. Enter Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Look, hey, don't hate. I enjoyed that movie, and the game had an okay-ish score of a 62 on Metacritic. Okay-ish. It takes only about 6 hours or so to get the 25 trophies you need for the platinum. There are no missable trophies or glitches to worry about. The story follows the movie, and you take on the role of Flint Lockwood, a young scientist who makes a machine that creates food from water. The graphics are pretty basic, and the gameplay is simplistic, and for the trophies, 7 of them are story-related and cannot be missed. There are also 7 collectible-related trophies, with most of them tying back to the Dish and Out trophy, which is the one for destroying all of the hydronic food pots. There are 600 of these things in total, but fortunately they're pretty easy to find. The remaining trophies are mostly tied to doing actions a certain number of times, like climbing bread 30 times or using the spaghetti rope 30 times. Even the trophies that may sound hard at first, like clearing levels with full HP at the end, are much easier than they sound at first. And while this move helped me pad my lead over my friends by a bit, it also had an unintended side effect. So my decision to play a baby game platinum led to them playing a bunch of easy baby game platinums to completely erase my trophy lead while I was away on vacation. There I was, sitting on the beach, staring across the ocean, and a plan started to take form. A plan to reclaim my spot atop the trophy leaderboard. And when I returned, I put the plan to action. It all started with Cars 2, the video game, developed by Avalanche Software. Yes, the very same Avalanche Software that would go on to create Hogwarts Legacy. And Cars 2 is definitely one of the better games that will appear on our list today. Unlike most movie tie-in games, it actually doesn't follow the story of the movie. Instead, you train as a secret agent with missions of your own. There's a clear Mario Kart inspiration here, but with real-world weapons like guns and rockets. There are also extra modes, like one where you hunt down enemies or play Capture the Flag. Honestly, it's a fun one for kids and the whole family. And while these days I'm known as just a dad who loves games and the stories they tell, at the time, I didn't have kids yet. Don't judge me. I had one goal and one goal only: get the Platinum Trophy. And I certainly enjoyed this one quite a bit because the estimated time to complete the Platinum Trophy is about 10 hours of game time. I actually got all 51 trophies in less than 24 hours of real-world time. There are even cheat codes to unlock unlimited turbo, all modes and tracks, and laser-guided aim. It's been more than a decade since I played this, and I honestly have no idea if I used the cheats or not. Really, I can't remember. But I probably did. 2 days later, I started playing Transformers Dark of the Moon. 18 hours and 42 minutes later, I had another Platinum Trophy. The average Metacritic rating here is a 59, and it was definitely a noticeable step down from Cars 2. It's not all bad with Dark of the Moon, though. There were some cool features that they brought over from the previous War for Cybertron game, and no, I did not platinum that one, which you'll hear why in just a second, but here you can switch between vehicle and robot form, each with unique abilities. The level design isn't great, everything feels small, there's not much creativity here. Mostly though, the whole thing is just boring. It feels like it was rushed. Not a huge surprise for a movie tie-in game. There are 36 trophies and 4 of them are online trophies. And actually, in preparing for this video, I learned that the server shut down without warning back in February of 2020. So getting every trophy in this game is no longer possible for new players. Now, I mentioned War for Cybertron. That one also had online trophies, and they were so bad, so ridiculously time-consuming that I stopped short of getting the platinum in that one. With the sequel, however, they lowered the XP required to reach level 20, so those online trophies, they're not nearly as time-consuming here. Even so, it was the very last trophy that I obtained before getting the platinum. After Transformers, I needed something simpler, something with no online trophies required. And here we have Disney Pixar's Up, which is about a 5-hour platinum. You play as Russell, Carl, and even Doug while exploring the wilderness, solving puzzles, and collecting things like butterflies and hidden bones. There are also these little merit badges throughout the game, and I had to collect all of them for a trophy, but also because they unlock various quest cards, and you need to complete all of the quest cards to get the Ellie Badge trophy, which was the last one I needed to score the platinum. Lots of collectibles here in this one. The next game I played, guys, I'm not ready to tell you about just yet. Look, okay, it had a Metacritic score of 33, so just give me a bit, and then we'll get to it. Instead, we moved to yet another movie tie-in game, but this one scored okay among reviewers, leaving it with an average Metacritic rating of 68. Dare I say it's almost even good? Ice Age 3: Dawn of the Dinosaurs is about a 6-hour platinum with 42 trophies. Again, no missable trophies and no online. By now, you know the drill. It's not very challenging, and it's a bit repetitive. This one does have a few different styles of gameplay, though, that change as you progress. It starts as a platformer with Sid, but becomes more diverse as you go along. The trophies are pretty simple and can mostly be completed without a guide, even though there are a bunch of these crystals that you need to collect in each level. There are also these challenges where you need to complete tasks within a certain amount of time or scoring a specific amount of points. Next on our list, we have one of the best reviewed games that you'll see me talk about today. It's Sly Cooper Thieves in Time for the PlayStation Vita. Now with this one, the game itself is really good. In fact, I don't understand how it scored a Metacritic of 75. My memory of that game is that it was much better than a 75, even though a 75 is good. But either way, why is this trophy appearing on a list of my most embarrassing trophies? Well, it's all about how I obtained it. You see, with the launch of the PlayStation Vita, Sony introduced new benefits for PS3 owners known as cross-buy and cross-save. It was a really awesome consumer-friendly policy where some games only needed to be purchased once and were playable on both systems with saves that could transfer over. This also introduced a mechanic that only the most hardcore trophy hunters will know about: trophy stacking. You see, because many of these games were made available on 2 systems, each developer had to decide how to handle these trophies. Now, some games had what was called a shared trophy list, which means that it would only unlock once regardless of platform. So if you earned the trophy on the PS3, then you could not get it again on the Vita, as it would already register you as having the trophy. Other games had stacking trophy lists, where you could earn them multiple times as they were completely separate lists. Now, you may think, okay, that's fine, you have to play through the game again to get the trophy. Some games it was like that, but here's the crazy part. For other games, even though they had completely separate lists, it did not require you to play the game again at all. By simply syncing your save via the cloud, you could get 2 platinums back to back. I unlocked the platinum trophy for the Vita version in a matter of minutes after first getting it on the PS3. To make things even more insane, there are some games such as Sound Shapes where you can do this a 3rd time with a PS4 version of the game. And if you're wondering, I absolutely didn't. The portability of the PlayStation Vita gave us a whole new way to earn trophies. Now I could take my obsession on the go. And while I will forever maintain the Vita, it's one of the most underrated systems of all time and absolutely deserves a successor today. I know that ridiculous PlayStation Portal thing does not count, but the Vita had its share of rough games too. One of its not so great titles, but a very easy platinum, was Resistance Burning Skies, a handheld first-person shooter that set out to deliver a console-like experience, but ultimately fell short of achieving that. There are only 25 trophies here needed for the platinum, but one of them is an online trophy. Fortunately, it's the best kind of multiplayer trophy, as it simply requires you to play 1 round of the online mode. 6 trophies are story related and thus impossible to miss. The rest are pretty simple, and I unlock them naturally by just playing the game. It's the standard trophy fare here, such as upgrading weapons, killing enemies, and then killing enemies with specific weapons. The only one that I didn't have after beating the game was a trophy called Giant that requires you to kill any combination of 18 impalers or executioners. Thanks to the level select feature, it took me less than 5 minutes to get that one after beating the game. And now, my friends, we have reached the top 3, or should I say, the worst 3 games on this list. At number 3, we have Terminator Salvation for the PlayStation 3. This is a game with bad acting, ugly cutscenes, no cinematic flair, and perhaps, most importantly, no Christian Bale.
Hey, are you Barnes?
The one and only.
Right. Well, I'm John Connor.
To be fair, the gameplay here wasn't exactly terrible. It's just repetitive. There's not much variety. You only fight 3 enemy types throughout the entire game. What Terminator Salvation does have, though, like every game on this list, an incredibly easy platinum trophy. But even the trophies here, guys, they're just so ridiculously uninspired. I mean, there are only 12 in all. And yes, that 12 includes the platinum. 9 of the 11 trophies simply require you to complete each chapter. That's right, they're story related. They cannot be missed. The other 2 remaining trophies require you to beat the game on medium and beat the game on hard. Now, that being said, that does not require 3 separate playthroughs. You see, hard mode is unlocked from the start, so you can play through the game once on hard mode and unlock every single trophy. And that's it. No challenges, no trophy cleanup, just beat the game on hard. For our next title, I can't believe I'm doing this, but I actually have to defend it a bit here. A 33 Metacritic feels too low, I'll just say it. Now keep in mind, back then, especially for games like this, we just didn't have as many reviewers. I mean, you can look, there's not that many scores here on Metacritic at all for this game. And no, I'm not stalling about telling you about the game. It's Megamind on the PS3. And yes, it's bad, but it's not that bad. Look, everything here technically works. There's nothing game-breaking, but it's all just very uninspiring and formulaic. You might be noticing a theme here with this list. It's almost exactly what you would think of for a rushed movie tie-in game. I would say it's definitely a step below games like Up and Clouded with a Chance of Meatballs, and even a bigger step below Cars 2. There were 25 trophies needed to unlock the Platinum, with 11 of them all happening automatically as you progress the story. You do have to collect a bunch of these binky orbs, even 3,000 for one of the trophies, but it's not nearly as hard as it sounds. I got all of those trophies in less than an hour by just playing the game. There are a few trophies that require you to beat certain levels without dying, but the game is so easy, these aren't much of a challenge either. I got every single one of the trophies here by just playing the game and taking a little bit of extra precaution on those levels not to die. And with that, the time has come. We have reached the #1 title on our list today, by far the most embarrassing trophy. On the topic of this gem of a game, IGN's Nicole Tanner wrote, "Whatever the reason for its terrible quality, it's not a game that should be played by anyone of age." And folks, I have to agree with Nicole here. Despite its easy platinum trophy, Kung Fu Panda 2 for the PlayStation 3 is quite simply one of the worst games I've ever played. We're talking everything from huge frame rate drops, choppy animations, unresponsive controls at times. I mean, the gameplay on paper doesn't sound all that bad. You've got the standard third-person fare such as light and strong attacks, special moves, dodging, countering, but you can pretty much win most of these fights by simply spamming the light attacks. The enemy AI here is just that bad. If you do want to use the special attacks, well, that makes things even easier, and it's all just so incredibly boring. Somewhat surprisingly, there are 43 trophies that you need for the Platinum, and that makes this so much worse. I can't believe I played through this game to get all 43 of these. Defeating wolves, defeating gorillas, collecting things, doing the moves, blah, 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 blah. That's also pretty much my recollection of this game. Playing this and Terminator Salvation back to back, that's what broke me, ladies and gentlemen. And see, folks, that is not where this story ends, because now I am a changed man. I can say that of this day and of this time, I only go for platinum trophies that I legitimately enjoy playing. Games like Bloodborne, God of War, and Elden Ring. If you're still here at this point and somehow haven't unsubscribed despite my embarrassment, despite me telling you about playing these awful games all the way through to the end, maybe you'd like to watch me platinum a game that's actually good. You can check out the video on the left side of your screen now to see my platinum trophy journey for Spider-Man Miles Morales. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.